welcome to I Love This Thing So Frigging Much, a podcast about passion. My name is Sophie Katz, and today I am joined by Luke Haynes, an electrical engineer and amateur theater maker. Welcome to the show, Luke.
Hey, Sophie. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, here is how this works. Luke will have 3 minutes to talk about something that he loves. This can be a person, place, thing, concept, activity, anything he wants. Our only requirement is that he loves it wholeheartedly and wants to tell us why. Are you ready, Luke?
I'm so ready.
Good. All right, got my timer here. Now, what do you love so frigging much?
So a thing that I love so much is clowns and clowning. I think it's an amazing art form, and what I love about it is it's so universal, right? Like it can be like a trained master doing something very practiced and very deliberate, or it can just be a goofball just having a good time, and I think that's great. And it's oh yeah, and it transcends time and space, right? Like it's been across the world. You have things that it doesn't need language. You can have international clowns in international circuses, and there's like the Clowns Without Borders. They go to refugee camps and stuff and do things for the kids, and it doesn't matter that they don't speak the same language or have the same cultures, because we all laugh at the same stuff, right? We all find the same things funny, and so it brings people together. And I mean, they've been around for forever. They've clowns trace back to commedia stuff, and Shakespearean clowns and circus clowns, rodeo clowns, and silent movie stars like Chaplin and Buster Keaton, and then our modern day clowns, our Robin Williams and Jim Carreys, and people who have been doing the same things for now like thousands of years and making people laugh at the same stuff. And it's just cool to see that kind of longevity, I guess, in the art form, and it really permeates through all of it. And what's great about clowning is it's like when you get down to it, it's really just finding the joy in failure, right? Like if you think of famous clowning sketches or any clowning thing you've ever seen, it's almost always, someone has a very simple task that they just can't seem to get done, whether that's, putting on a hat or walking in a straight line or trying to carry a bunch of things from one side of the stage to the other. And whether it's their own stupidity or klutziness or some force of the universe that's stopping them, they just keep failing, and we keep laughing at it, and it ought to be very sad, right? Like it sounds tragic to them, but I had a professor who once said that comedy is just tragedy in long shot, right? And that it is sad if you're the person, but if you can get that perspective, if you can step back from it, you can find the joy in it and you can laugh at it. And that's what clowns do for us. They give us that perspective. They let us see the beauty and the joy in being foolish and in failing and in falling on your face, and let us know that that's an okay thing to laugh at. And I mean, they're so good at it. And what I love specifically, like in the context of circus, so much of circus is like, look how hard this thing is, right? The jugglers and the lion tamers and the tightrope walkers, it's all dramatic music playing, and look how dangerous this is, and look how hard it is. And then they do it, and then clowns, it's exactly the opposite. Clowns, it looks accidental. It's like, oh no, I didn't mean to do a triple backflip or pull 100 scarves out of my mouth. It feels like it is a very hard thing to do, but they make it look like it was nothing, and that's just really, really amazing. I love it so much.
Was that the end of the thought, or you want to finish it?
No, that's plenty. I mean, I could go on forever, but that's probably a good place to stop it. That
is true. That's the whole point of the show. Thank you for telling us about clowning. My goodness.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
What question to start with, even? So can you tell me, how did you first get interested in clowning? Do you have any formative memories of a performance that you saw?
Oh, geez. I don't know. So okay. From a very early age, before I even had the language for it, I was very into pantomime. I didn't like to speak. I was shy in that respect, but I did like getting attention without talking. And pantomime is kind of how I got there. And then I guess the rest grew organically. My dad was a clown. He had like a persona and everything, and I don't think he ever got paid to do it, but he would do fall festivals and Halloween and stuff. So I was around it, and then I started learning the skills one at a time. I learned how to juggle when I was young and really liked that, and did some balloon animals and did some unicycling, and then I think when I started self-identifying as a clown in college, when I don't know if you remember, it was in 2015, 2016, there was this big clown scare. They were like people dressed as clowns.
I do remember.
Yeah, and so like when that happened, people were like forming clown hunting parties and stuff, and it was getting really intense. And I ended up writing an article to our school newspaper, like in defense of clowns.
Oh goodness, yes.
And then I started, became a clown activist, and I bought a nose and started wearing it everywhere. I walked across, like when I graduated, I got my diploma, I shook the hand of the president of the university wearing a clown nose. And it became like, I latched onto it, became a part of my identity, and it's been a thing ever since.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, I love it.
You mentioned that the difference, at least in perception of clowning from other circus performances, is that other performances are meant to look hard, but clowning is supposed to look easy, but it still has challenges. Could you talk a little bit about what are some of the challenges of being a clown?
Yeah, well, it's tricky because, like I said, clowning is very broad, right? So no two clowns do it the same way. But yeah, I mean, so a lot of it is storytelling. A lot of it is getting. Most clowns, at least, are nonverbal. So there's a lot to getting a story across without language, not necessarily without sound, but without language. So that's tricky. A lot of it is prop heavy. I mean, there's a lot of sleight of hand in there and a lot of acrobatics and stuff. And a lot of it is audience centered as well, right? A lot of clowns you see, it's messing with kids from the audience or whatnot. And so there's always that element of you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how the kids are going to respond. You don't know, it can't be as practiced as much as like a tightrope walker who is really far removed from everybody else. And that's why it's so important, I think, that clowns embrace the failures, and if they fall accidental, make it look like it was also on purpose, or better yet, if everything looks accidental, no one will notice, and just embrace when things go wrong as part of it. That's
a good point. Is there anything that you don't like about clowning, and if so, how do you handle that?
Yeah. So the only thing that comes to mind is like the stigma around it. I have a whole thing of, I'm against negative clown imagery in the media, because it seems everywhere. It seems like when you mention clowns, what people think of first are like the haunted houses and the like American Horror Story and like the Joker, and all of these scary clowns just become people's first instinct. And it's hard to know how to combat that sometimes. The one like time someone paid me to be a clown, I was officially a unicycling juggler with a red nose, because they couldn't use the word clown in like the pitch because they thought it was going to turn people away. And it's frustrating to see a few, not usually just media instances, not even like things that have actually happened, kind of sour people against the art form. And so I try whenever possible to give people, positive clown imagery and let them know what true clowning is. But there's a lot of kind of stigma against them that's kind of frustrating to see sometimes.
Yeah, I bet it's frustrating. You can't let the horror clowns take away the fun from the rest of the clowns.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a whole battle, and I mean, I know some people like haunted houses and everything, and that can be a form of fun as well. But it's tough for those who just want to make people laugh.
Luke, thank you so much for telling us about something you love today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I had a great time.
Good. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in today. If you would like to learn more about clowning or our guest, Luke, you can find his social media information in the episode description. And don't forget to use the hashtag #LoveThisThingCast to tell us about the things you love. I Love This Thing So Frigging Much is a production of Through the Window Media. This episode was directed by Sophie A. Katz and edited by Melissa Block. You can find us at Through the Window on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. That is THROU the Window at all those social media sites. Be good to yourself, be kind to each other, and you'll hear from us again soon.